Hi everyone, this is Victor Benavides sharing my reflection on topics learned in 575. And if you haven't been able to tell already, I haven't been feeling great lately. I'm going to try my best to not sound like a goose. So beginning with the first topic, patterns of disease and health disparities. Skolnick distinguishes between public health and global health by first stating that public health is the promotion of physical and mental health and wellness through practices, education, services, and community enhancement. Global health essentially takes this and amplifies it to a global scale through a collaborative effort to address the world's health inequities. um, health disparities are notable and preventable differences observed between individuals and communities. And when we expand this to the global scale, we can see how there are disparities among different states, countries, regions, everything. So, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, determinants of health include biology and genetics, individual behavior, social interactions, physical environment, and access to health services. To analyze how these determinants can predict and explain differences between countries, we can consider World Bank regions, looking specifically at Sub-Saharan Africa and North America, for example. To make it even easier, we can compare Madagascar to the US because Madagascar is the country I did my project on. So, in a country like Madagascar, we have low income, political turmoil, traditional and cultural practices, difficult to navigate geography, a country that's heavily reliant on humanitarian aid, and a country where communicable diseases persist as the leading causes of death. In the US, we have none of these things. We're high income, we have no political turmoil, our cultural and traditional practices are Western practices. We have maybe some scarcity, some difficulty for some individuals accessing care due to distance, but it's not due to difficult to navigate terrain. We are self-sustaining and not reliant on other aid, and non-communicable diseases are our leading causes of death. Global to local and local to global implications. The world is incredibly interconnected today through travel, trade, charity, etc. Though Sub-Saharan Africa, to kind of continue with our example, remains the only World Bank region where communicable diseases persist as the leading cause of death, according to Skolnick, it always remains a danger to the US, even though we've pretty well taken care of that here in the country. Due to our interconnectedness, that can certainly become an issue. Recent examples are Ebola, H1N1, which I believe was swine flu, avian flu, and all of these have led to travel bans with other countries avoiding inflicted areas and preventing that being carried to their country. Remaining unaddressed, these can easily become localized issues, especially with the ease that communicable diseases have when traveling, whether airborne, waterborne, etc. Global health advancement also remains a top priority. Collaboration is imperative in continuing this progress, and without it, we risk stagnation and possible declination. We always have to work with even the weakest countries. The old saying, "You're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain," and so it becomes very important that we reach out and help these countries who need the assistance, like Madagascar, who relies heavily on humanitarian aid. So my solution is kind of two-part. To me, the single most important issue remains cultural differences. Cultural differences, I mean, you could look next door to me, and I'm sure they have a different household culture than I have here. There are cultural differences between communities within a state, city, neighborhood, and there are cultural differences, obviously, when you start going into different countries and continents and regions. Skolnick explains that the culture plays a role in health practices, perception of illness, medicinal choices, and use of health services. These differences must not only be recognized, but they need to be accepted in order for global health to progress. To truly accept these differences, I feel the second part of this, health professionals must remain cognizant of ethics and human rights. That means biases, stigma, judgment, and subjectivism must be avoided in all decisions that are made to the best of our ability. After understanding these differences, health interventions can be tailored to specific cultures to ensure the best quality and the best assurance that these health practices can and will be followed. To me, this is the only surefire method in achieving health equity. Thank you all for watching my reflection. I've enjoyed working with all of you in another semester. Congratulations in finishing your first year, and I hope you all enjoy your summer.